What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be ranking the entire Ty West X trilogy. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo. If you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, or video game related, or just anything nerdy, you have come to the right place. And like I said, today we're ranking the entire Ty West X trilogy. So without further ado, let's get into the ranking. But before I get started with my ranking, make sure to share your ranking in the comment section down below. Let me know why you rank them in that certain order. I'd love to hear our guys' thoughts about the Ty West X trilogy movies. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get directly into the ranking. And coming in my number 3 is going to be Pearl. I absolutely love Pearl as a movie. I think it's an amazing origin story to the Pearl character from X. I think Mia Goth gives her best performance out of this entire trilogy within this movie when it comes to the barn scene, when she's fighting with the projectionist, also talking about her feelings about Howard and how she wants to kill him and wants to leave away and be a star, when she's talking to her sister-in-law, and even just to the ending scene of just her smiling directly into the camera. She has some amazing performances in this movie. One thing that does hold it back for me on the film is I do think it is a little slow paced, and it comes to a point where most of the carnage candy and most of the intensity and kind of what you come for a horror slasher movie for feels like it happens within the last 15 minutes or so, last 15-20 minutes. So it does lend to be a little bit slower towards the beginning. It is an enjoyable story overall and builds a lot of intrigue on the Pearl character, and I think was a smart idea by Mia Goth and Ty West to present this to A24 to get this greenlit. But I think it still falls a little short when it comes to pacing wise, and the overall kind of existence of it I think was amazing that this does exist, but we could have done without this movie, and both X and MaXXXine would have done just as fine without it. But coming in at my number 2, it is going to be the new kid on the block, MaXXXine. I absolutely love this movie. I think the style of this film is impeccable. I think that's what makes this movie so much more rewatchable. When I get to that point, obviously I've only seen it once, but I think it's going to be a lot more rewatchable than Pearl is going to be, just because I love the style, I love the pacing, I love the aesthetic, especially of being in that 80s Hollywood era, like kind of feeling like that golden age films again, where we're seeing a lot of like the Universal backlot, and you love seeing that stuff, especially if you live in the like Hollywood LA area. You recognize so many different landmarks in LA, so it kind of it brings you into that 80s Hollywood era a lot more. So, and I absolutely love Mia Goth's performance as MaXXXine and her kind of rise to stardom again and what she has to overcome. I love Kevin Bacon in this movie. I just finished doing my review on MaXXXine and all the other movies, so if you haven't seen my full thoughts, definitely check those out. But I do love all the performances within this film. I thought some of the kills were great, and the overall story, I think it just lends to be a lot more fun and stylized, and definitely adds to like that 80s horror film that is a little bit more artistic but very digestible at the same time. So that makes MaXXXine kind of such a fun movie to watch while also being just a great horror film as well. But coming in my number 1 is going to be X. You have that X factor. And yes, this movie does. Absolutely. This is one of the best horror movies of all time. It definitely is it's probably in my top 50 horror movies of all time as well. I do think Pearl and MaXXXine are like neck and neck. Like those two can probably switch any time of the day. If you ask me tomorrow, I might say Pearl's my number 2 over MaXXXine. But when it comes to X, where X and MaXXXine are right here, I think X is definitely way up here, and it definitely cemented Ty West as a director, as a horror director. We kind of got our introduction to MaXXXine, Mia Goth's character, who has an amazing performance, playing 2 different characters in this movie. The entire cast, I think, is amazing. I love the story of this film. I thought the kills were gory, and I love the practical effects when it comes to the kills. The antagonists are interesting and intriguing. The use of parallels between 2 different characters is amazing. And I just think this movie is just one of those like horror films that just it's going to cement itself in the best horror movies of all time in the future. It definitely has a lot of reminiscence of other movies, but it's so unique within its own, and it has such a unique underlining theme and message throughout the entire film that it's very easy to catch, but you can miss it at the same time, and it's very real and it feels raw. And that's what I love about Ty West's films, but especially X. It feels raw, no pun intended. But I just love the filmmaking here, and I think that this film and this movie of X definitely was such a high bar to set this X trilogy for with Pearl and MaXXXine, where all the movies coming afterwards, you have to compare it to that first one. Is it as good as X? And I still think X is number one out of all of them. It's absolutely a blast to watch. I think performances are amazing. Like I said, you know, the directing is amazing. The pacing is amazing. It's just one of those movies that is timeless and is endlessly rewatchable. I absolutely love watching this film whenever I get a chance, whenever I'm in the mood for a little Mia Goth X action. This is definitely the one I'm probably going to pick out of the three, and X comes in at my number one. But again, let me know what you guys think about the Ti West X trilogy. I'd love to hear you guys in the comment section down below. And again, if you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, or video game related, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next review.